Hi, guys. Welcome back to I Wish I Could Make This Up, but it's real life. I am very excited to be here today because not only is it the 1 year anniversary since launching, but it's just been a long time. And honestly, I did plan to take a little hiatus after season two because I felt like season one and two, they happened very fast and life was happening at the same time. And so I said, I need a little break. I was getting into summertime, but then the break just became a little more extended than I thought, which is okay. It happens. But I said, okay, let me come back and give the people an end of year recap because a lot has happened. Good things, some things I wish were better, but like God is good nonetheless. So I figured I should just get into it, tell y'all what I've been up to. I do wish sometimes this was a little live so I could actually like see what y'all been up to, but maybe later. I don't know. I did make a little list on the phone because I need to stay on track. Y'all know I can just start talking. Next thing you know, I done went on a whole tangent. So I'm gonna tell y'all about, well, let me think. I guess it's about my summer. I had a fun summer. But for those who don't know, I work in higher ed, so I do events for a university. And so commencement in spring is my biggest event. It's like the end of year thing. And after that, y'all, I be needing time. I have to go back into my shell. I need to introvert real hard. But this year was kind of funny because I kind of didn't get to do that immediately after commencement because one of my besties got engaged. And shout out to her fiance. He wanted the friend group to be present. So that required me hopping on a flight to get there. So literally, y'all, I booked this flight. I mean, I kind of found out like it was a very urgent matter. And so I found out a little late. And so I literally booked a flight 48 hours in advance. And the day after, not even a whole day, y'all, commencement ended on a Saturday evening. Probably like 12 hours later, the next morning at 6 a.m., I was on a flight going to Atlanta. So did get to see my best friend get proposed to, which was really, really sweet. And that kind of kicked off my little summer fun, you can say. But yeah, after that, I swear, I feel like I hit the ground running because, May went by and then June, but my birthday is July 2nd. And so I usually like to do something fun. Sometimes I'll travel for my birthday, but this year was like the first full year of like entering the year, and then I know I'll be exiting the year being divorced. So I kind of wanted to do something different, something special, but because I had made plans for the following week after my birthday, I thought maybe like lay low, hang out with your parents, go to dinner. Until one of my really good friends hit me up maybe 3 to 4 weeks before my birthday and said, I think you should take a trip. Why don't you come to LA? So I decided to be spontaneous, y'all, and I went to LA for about a week. And that really started off my little summer tour, as I like to call it. But I had to make some points on my phone, y'all, because if I told y'all all about this trip, this would be one full episode about that one trip. And I really don't think y'all care that much. I don't know. Maybe y'all do. But let's see. So I told y'all why I ended up in LA, or at least how. I do go there. I go there enough where like I have somewhat of a community out there. So I felt like it would be fun. This was a solo trip, but it was more of like I'm just gonna go out there by myself and then kind of just link up with my friends as I see fit. Best decision ever. Had a blast. And I'm gonna put y'all on to a little tea because it was a last minute trip and I really am not impulsive when it comes to these things because hospitality is in my DNA. I don't do that. Like I need to plan. But one of my friends so graciously decided to pay for my trip. So I ended up there. So I will shout out my girl Bree. She didn't pay for the trip, but I'm shouting out Bree because we hung out quite a bit. She kept the fun going. As soon as I touched down and she grabbed me from the airport, y'all, she had me. I mean, we went to her house, freshened up, we got some food. We ended up at a pool party. Now, initially, I didn't plan to be at a pool party the day I got there because I was just kind of like, let's ease into the birthday week. Let's just take it easy. But Bree had other plans. And I'm okay with that. It was a really good time. But we hit the ground running. I did end up having therapy while I was out there just because I always book therapy near my birthday. I think it's important to like reflect and just get whatever you need to get out prior to turning a new age. And so I did have therapy. One of the things that happened while I was out there, I lost my ID. That was crazy. I did find it. I was almost in panic mode, but I caught myself because I realized it was kind of out of my control at that rate. Like either it was going to be found or it wasn't. And so that happened. One of the highlights though that was different for me is I decided to spend my actual birthday by myself. Not the full day. I did go to dinner with Brie, but like the whole day I decided to go down to Santa Monica. I love the beach. Everybody knows that. I just had a random day. Like went to lunch. I walked on the beach. I got a tattoo. I wonder, I will show y'all, but I don't know. We just gonna not do this because it's giving confessional vibes. But either way, I got a new tattoo. So cute, so sentimental. And, I just kind of like went with the flow that day, which honestly, I had an itinerary when I initially knew I was going to go to LA. But I think after 24 hours of being there, whole plan changed, y'all. The whole plan changed. And it was something, again, out of my control. So at that rate, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew these are the people I'm going to see. At what point, I don't know. I'm just go with the flow. And I had a really good time. I will tell y'all this. I stayed at Mondrian Hotel. 10 out of 10. I would do it again. It was a fun experience. The only thing I will note is if you are not okay with a lot of noise at night, probably don't stay there because Sky Bar is there. And I am a light sleeper, but I also guess I should have considered that a vacation. So I should have known like you're probably not going to sleep the same way you might choose based on where you are. So, I think it closes, I don't know if it closes at midnight or 2 a.m. But what I would tell you, there were a couple nights I was trying to go to sleep, especially that first night there. I was just tired. And so I'm talking about rocking down there, like the literal club. And because it's an outdoor situation, it was just loud. And mind you, I'm on the top floor of the hotel. I have a balcony and I'm looking out. I can see Sky Bar. And so it was just super loud. So that's one thing I would say. But if that does not bother you, great experience, 5-star hotel, very luxurious, and yeah, just a great location. It's in West Hollywood. It's on Sunset Boulevard. On-site restaurants. I mean, honestly, really no complaints other than the noise. But yeah, LA was a good time. And that really kicked off my travels because the following week, I was in Atlanta again. If you don't know by now, I go to Atlanta so much, it's not even funny. My friends be telling me like, girl, you need to come here. You need to move. And if you're new here, I did live in Atlanta at one point. But I go to Atlanta quite a bit. And I do love Atlanta. So I will go back. But I find myself there more often than not. And so the week after my birthday, I don't even think I was home a full week, actually, when I got back from LA. Ended up going down to Atlanta to Cowboy Carter. First time seeing Beyonce. This was for Bestie's birthday. This was for the bestie that got engaged. So she wanted to go to the Beyonce concert for her birthday, which was 8 days later or after mine. And so we went to night 3, I believe. And first time for all 3 of us seeing Beyonce, had a blast. I understand why people who see her feel like anytime she has a tour, whether they listen to the whole album or not, why they feel like they have to go. I get it. I wouldn't consider myself, a member of the Beehive. We ain't gonna go that far, but like, I get it. So thoroughly enjoyed myself. Proud to say that, I did, everybody was dressing up for Cowboy Carter and I really loved that. And I also did, but I'm really proud of myself because one of the ways I'm impulsive, y'all, I will be like, I got somewhere to go. I got to get an outfit. The only thing I bought were my pants. Everything else was in the closet down to the hat. So I felt really proud about that. But The concert was amazing. Night 3, that was the first night that Jay-Z came out. So that was super cool. Didn't realize I would kind of like fangirl over that moment, but like I did. It was exciting. Especially because he just doesn't really perform like that. So, seeing him come out was cool. Um, it was just a really good girls' weekend, to be honest. And I didn't realize how much I needed that. But in case y'all don't know, some of y'all do. Most of my friends, like a bulk of my friends, my closest girls live in Atlanta. So I don't get a ton of girl time when I'm home. So that weekend was super fun. We ended up going to this little spot. I'm laughing because I see it in my head, but this spot called Rocksteady. And if you know, you know. Like it is it's just a good black vibe. That's really what it is. It's a really good black time. It kind of reminds me of like if you ended up at a lounge or a little club in the early 2000s, like a music video type vibe. Everybody was actually up dancing, and I appreciate that because, I think today, the culture of nightlife, a lot of people just want to sit down and vibe, and some environments call for that, but like you'll go somewhere where there's music playing, people are having a good time, but people are standing around and they're not actually dancing. So I appreciate that. So Rocksteady was a vibe. We just had a really good girls' weekend, a good little kiki, catching up on life, real stuff, enjoying each other's company. So that was a lot of fun. The Atlanta trip was kind of short though. Like the whole main event was girls' night, which we ended up at Rocksteady, and then Beyonce. And that was that. So came back home. And then, I came home. I think I had about 2 weeks-ish in between traveling. So I was still working, but like, again, being in higher ed, summertime, me doing events is very slow. So summer is my planning time. And I only go into my office maybe twice a week, if that sometimes. But, life happens. Okay. So the next trip was Tampa. That was, like first weekend, August-ish. So I had a couple weeks to have a little break, and Tampa was cool. Don't necessarily recommend going to Florida in the summertime if you don't have to. But that one was another concert situation. And so me and my bestie, we went to see Chris Brown. And there will be no Chris Brown slander. And if you leave a comment, it will be deleted because we're not doing that. And I know someone specifically is watching this probably thinking like, you support Chris Brown? And I do. In regards to going to his shows, I do. Like it's very nostalgic for me. He was my very first secular concert. So like, come on. And Breezy Bowl was the 20th anniversary. So I had to go. I had to slide. This was actually this was my second Chris Brown concert ever. And honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be amazing. And I also knew like coming out of seeing Beyonce, I just knew Chris was going to have to put it on, which I knew he would. But again, people really say Beyonce is like top 3 performers. And in our generation, I would agree with that. But I will say Chris Brown is right up there with her. So yeah, went to see Chris Brown in Tampa. Now, as y'all know, this was a stadium tour. So that mess was outside. I couldn't even wear makeup. I might have put on like a little concealer and mascara, but I really could not wear makeup. It was so hot and humid. I did not stop sweating. And thank God I had my fan because I'm pretty sure it stayed on the whole time. Like it stayed on the entire concert to the point where it died on the way back to the car at the end. So thank God it lasted the whole time, but it was so hot out there. It didn't rain though, so that was good. And we know Florida is good for a little drizzle. So that was cool. But I will tell y'all, Breezy Bowl, 10 out of 10. If you missed it and you actually like wanted to go, whenever he does another tour, please go because you will not be disappointed. The videos really don't do it justice. I mean, I saw people posting reels and I saw people posting it on YouTube and stuff like that, but you just had to be there. Now, I had good seats. Y'all, a lot of y'all that went or like maybe saw reels, you probably saw the setup of the stage. So we were in one of like the 100 section, one of those on the side. And I felt like it was a really good spot because he kind of went all around that stadium, but we just really got a good look at the stage. Our concert, I think, was like the second US concert, second or third. And we saw Summer Walker. Y'all know how Summer is as a performer. So, I mean, I rock with the girl. You know, I like her music, but yeah, that was that. Didn't see Bryson because, ironically, at our show, y'all, the power went out after Summer. So I don't even know. Actually, really don't even know the order of how that was supposed to go. I just know we did not see Bryson, but the power did go out, and they basically were like, "We just bring it on, Chris, because the time that it's taking to turn this on is wasting time." So didn't see him, but I've seen him in concert before. Wasn't really pressed for that. Again, even though I was sweating so badly, 10 out of 10. So much so that low-key, y'all, I did end up at another concert. Like when he came to Raleigh, I went back. And I didn't even make that decision till the day of the concert. And in that concert, I had club seats. And I will say this much. Club seats, now I've had club seats for like sporting events, but that was my first time doing club seats for a concert. I would do that again. But I think I was only okay with it because it was my second time at that exact show. I do feel like I want to be up close and personal comfortably when I do see the concert for the first time. So I've never been the type to go to a concert twice, like the same. Actually, I have done it, but it was like a very intimate concert. It was Tori Kelly. So very different vibe. But like I've never gone to a stadium concert twice. And so sitting in two different areas, I realized both can work. I just prefer, the club seats are better for maybe the second go around because you got to rely on that screen. Unless you have some really good glasses, like, or binoculars, which is kind of crazy, you're going to rely on the screen because it's just so far away. So I didn't really care for that in that aspect. But like, again, my second time, loved it. Obviously, it gave luxurious because drinks, food, all the vibes. And it just was not as crowded up there versus sitting elbow to elbow in a normal seat. So yeah, 10 out of 10 Chris Brown. That was a highlight, I will say, because it very much took me back to middle school, and those were good times, fun times. But on to the next, y'all. This might have been I don't know if I would say my favorite trip of the summer, but definitely one of my favorite cities. I went to New York next. When I came back from Tampa, I think even with that trip, like I came back on a Sunday and then that Saturday I went to New York. Y'all know my big sister lives in New York. So I was really excited because she doesn't come home all the time. And so I don't mind going to New York. I really enjoy just getting away. But this one was different. We decided to bring our little sister with me to visit our big sister. And that was our first time traveling together. So I didn't know what to expect. She is 19. And if you have a sibling that is that age or Gen Z in general, like, it's just, they're a different vibe. And that's not bad. That's, it's not good or bad. It's just truth. So I didn't fully know what to expect, but I was just like, you know what? Sister vibes. Like, we're going to go on our trip. This will be fun. Now, a little background information. She's in college. She's studying international studies, and she hopes to have a future in politics. So as big sisters, obviously, like, the trip was to just bond and have fun. But we wanted it to be purposeful because my thing is, I grew up with a big sister, but like we're 3 years apart. So sometimes certain resources just were not available to her to pour into me and my future if she knew my interests. So with our little sister, I mean, there's an age gap here. So it's like, okay, we know a few things. So of course she let us know, like, I'm interested in this. At some point I may want to live in New York. So we're like, what can we do? What can we show her that would be fun and also educational and informative and helpful toward her future. Y'all, we took this girl on a tour of the United Nations headquarters. And I'm gonna be honest, that's not something that I had on my bingo card for 2025, but just life in general. Like, I never said, hey, I'm just gonna go to the UN HQ and vibe out. But we did. And I have to admit, that was probably one of the most fun things I've done. Definitely gave side quest energy because, again, like, that's not something I would have personally thought to do. But it was a lot of fun. And they give us little guest badges where you get to keep that as your keepsake. So it just felt very official. It did feel very serious, though, because, I mean, the screening that we had to go through to, like, get in the building was just a little OD. It definitely gave TSA, but, like, on steroids slightly. But I appreciate that because it felt very safe. But that was fun. It only takes maybe, I would say, a couple hours of your time because you do have to check in. Like, they tell you to arrive early. I don't know if we arrived an hour early to check in, which is in a separate building across the street. And so did that, they're screening you, making sure like your ID matches whatever. And then they print out your badge and then you go and you have to go through security at the actual building, which is across the street. And then, they checking everything. I'm talking about it's really like TSA, like you coming out your belt. I think we left our shoes on, but everything else like came off. So interesting experience. I was learning things. I mean, we should be informed. I'll say that when it comes to politics, but like, I'm not a political girl in the sense of just having all this knowledge. So to be there and they're explaining what type of meetings are held there and decision making and stuff like that, it was pretty cool. And, just U.S. history, like we do live here, so we should know what's going on. But that was fun. I think overall, like as a sister bonding trip, I did enjoy it. I was a little overstimulated though, because a lot of times when I go to New York, it's either with my parents or just by myself. So having my sister with me, even though she's 19, she does not know that city. And I had to actually make sure like, oh, I don't want to call her a minor because then she's going to feel disrespected. But I have a minor with me. And so I think I was just super overstimulated. And as y'all know, New York City is just an overstimulating city as is anyway. So that was just a different experience. But, I love New York for the views, the food, because I feel like all I ate was carbs. And that's okay because all we mostly did was walk as well. And family. Like, that's the vibe. I even got to see one of my cousins who technically lives there. He's from there, but he's away for work right now. And when I text him, I was just like, oh my God, I'm in your city and you're not here. He's like, newsflash, I actually am visiting for the weekend. So that was a cool little cameo that happened. So overall, like, New York was a fun trip. I was a little tired at that point because kicked it off with Atlanta in May, and then it was just like June came, and at that rate, I just kind of had not sat down. So there were two more trips after New York, which y'all gonna see a reel. I don't even know how this will be edited, and this is obviously gonna be here. But either way, y'all are gonna see some clips from the stuff because I never really posted a lot. I think I tried to post in real time on my story. So if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, I'll put that somewhere. But I usually post stuff in real time or kind of like after at the end of the trip or when I leave a location, I'll just post my little stuff. But other than that, I'm not really big on reels and recaps. So I never did put anything together. But for this very special occasion, y'all will see a recap of everything I'm telling you. So to the next trip, I ended up in Cincinnati. Now, if you're from Cincinnati or if you like Cincinnati as a city, shout out to you. No shade there. But that really gave side quest energy because I have been to Cincinnati one other time prior to this trip. And even that was random. So this trip was very purposeful. One of my cousins unexpectedly passed away earlier in the year. And unfortunately, because it was so sudden and like and it was in Cincinnati. I was unable to go. Um, my mom, she actually had like something she really had to go to. And so we just weren't able to go. So we figured we'll go and we'll visit our family just later on, a whole separate vibe, just to kind of like spend time and just, try to relax and just decompress. So initially that trip was supposed to happen, I think, in June, but again, life was happening, pop-up trips and other things. So we ended up pushing it to August. So ended up in Cincinnati. As y'all can see, I was gone actually like, I think most of August. I was just out of town. So we're in Cincinnati. I didn't know what to expect, but I told my mom, look, I don't know that there's much to do here other than eat. And sporting events too, because I will say this. If you've been to Cincinnati and you coming in from like, well, I don't know, I guess that might be the only way. I don't know about the map. I would have to look. But there's so many bridges. So y'all know what I'm talking about. There are like maybe 6 bridges and you can just look across and see each one. As you're coming into the city, all of the sporting venues, like the professional sporting venues, are next to each other. So the Bengals Stadium, the Reds Stadium, baseball, and then whatever other, I guess the basketball stadium, but I don't know. But either way, there's like so many sporting venues like lined up. So that's a vibe. Like the downtown scene kind of surprised me because I didn't know that was a thing for Cincinnati. But that was cool to see. I like that little stuff. Like I like to see everybody's downtown. So when I'm in the city, you gotta take me downtown. I gotta see what's going on. But really all we did was eat and shop and spend time with family. And I met one of my cousins for the first time. I met his children for the first time, which I guess are also my cousins. So it was really forgiving family vibes, like eating, shopping. Shout out to my older cousin who also is an Aggie, so Aggie Pride. But she just really showed us around, and it was just a really good time of like bonding, catching up, and just doing check-ins, like mental check-ins, because she was one who lost her daughter. And so my mom wanted to make sure we went and spent time with her. And so I know that it was appreciated. And then she and her son, which I met her son for the first time, they ended up coming down for Thanksgiving. So it's been really nice to kind of like connect more and even continue to get to know my cousin that I hadn't met. So Cincinnati was random and it was a side quest. I stand on that. But it was a really, really good trip. I just left feeling so full, which is really hilarious because I kind of went into it like, I hope this is fun. And I really am sad to admit that. But I was like, I hope this is fun. Which, being with my mom, let me tell y'all, that's my girl. Like, when we go on trips together, we always have the best time. We laugh, we eat, we stay up late and talk. Like, y'all know my bond with my mama is like this. So I really enjoyed just being with her. But for me, when I'm in a city where I don't know much about it, it's almost like I can't anticipate what will happen. So I just was like, I guess I better have an open mind because what we finna do in Cincinnati. So that trip was fun. 10 out of 10 would go back for the family vibes. And if you would have asked me prior to, I probably would have just been like, this is a one and done. Like, I don't really need to go back here. But I'm actually looking forward to the next time I get to go. So shout out to my family. Whew, let's see. Let me look at my notes, y'all. I think I have one more trip to tell y'all. And then I'm just going to like yap a little bit about random stuff. But Nashville, we're still in August, by the way. This was for Labor Day. Now, the way I do Nashville, generally I'll say now because I don't live in Atlanta anymore. I will fly to Atlanta and then ride in the car over to Nashville with my girls. That's kind of how we do things because Atlanta and Nashville are really close. So it's a quick little, 3.5, 4 hours. So we went to Nashville. Now, Nashville, surprisingly, is also one of my favorite cities, but we actually went with a purpose. Like, in times past, one of my best friends, she has family there. And so we normally in the past have gone to Nashville a lot for her family stuff. And I'm talking about since college days. So this time we did go see family. I don't know that was the full intent, But we went because A&T was going to be playing Tennessee State in football. So we figured that's our alma mater. Her family all went to TSU. So we figured let's just go to the game. I don't know. I think it was a new classic. I've never heard of it. So that was a new thing. So we figured let's just go and see. Now, any Aggies watching this, y'all know like what's going on with our football team. So we did not expect to win that game. But anyway, we went to the game. That was like the purpose of it. But of course, because we were there for a few days, it's Labor Day weekend, people cooking out, like family vibes. So it was a fun time. We went out, we ate. That's one thing I would tell you. I love Nashville has some really good food. Like I'm trying to think, it's rare that I've been in Nashville and did not enjoy anything I ate. So I'll say that. But we just had a good girls trip. That was another one. Got a hotel downtown. Girls trip. Like girls be saying they're a girl's girl. Some of y'all really don't be. But the thing is, I truly am like growing up with sisters. I just naturally, that's my MO. I'm a girl's girl. I love to be with the girls. So being in Nashville was fun. I saw a side of downtown I don't recall seeing. So, exploring. This is a little thing that y'all should keep in mind. Exploring new hotels, that's the wave. Like if you don't know where to go and you're in a big city, go to a new hotel that has, if they have a rooftop, they obviously probably have a bar situation. Go and just explore because the vibes are always going to be immaculate. Usually the views are going to be good. And then within that vicinity, you can kind of just find other cool places to go. So we ended up at the Harriet's in Nashville, which is so funny because I ended up at Harriet's in LA too. I'm like, Harriet's must be the vibe. But yeah, we just explored a little bit. And honestly, I would do that trip over and over and over. And I wouldn't change anything about it. I would have changed the hotel we chose. Great location, but I don't know. It could have been better. And that's no shade because P, if you watching this, that was a great selection. But y'all, they gave us like a corner suite. So it was just kind of situated a little weird, but it was a vibe. And we had almost panoramic views of the city. So that part was the vibe too. But the shape of the room was kind of set up in a way where we were like, ooh, we might need a little more room when it's like 4 girls, But yeah, Nashville was 10 out of 10. I think we went back to Atlanta. So I flew out of Atlanta. And that really concluded my summer travels. At that rate, though, school had just started. And so I was trying to get back into the groove of work. Because when I say, if you work in higher ed, then summertime is, unless you're like a professor, because then you might have summer classes. But if you are in any other role, like I guess any role that does not require you to teach, then summertime is the time. Like that is your time to travel. Anytime students are on break, have your fun too, because work is not going to be as crazy for you. And so I plan in advance. I had planned my whole fall semester by the time June arrived, everything was solidified. So I traveled and I had a really good time. Would I do this summer over again? I would. I think there are certain things about certain trips in certain cities I might change. But what I can say is for this to be like the first summer where I was fully divorced, because as y'all know, I'll say this past June made a year of me being divorced. And honestly, for this to be my first summer outside, I really have no complaints. No complaints. Enjoyed traveling and just kind of like seeing new things, meeting. I have met so many people. It's actually crazy, which this is not a big deal, but it's eye-opening because a lot of times when I'm meeting people, men and women, the quick thing to do if you enjoy chatting is like, oh, exchange social media. And when I just look at like from last year to this year and even just over the summer, like how my followers grew, I was actually shocked because I'm like, whoa, I'm really being a social butterfly. And not that I'm not usually, but like, I do like my time. I do like to introvert and just go into hiding. So the fact that I was meeting so many people and connecting and actually staying connected, I was kind of overwhelmed. But yeah, it was a good summer. I mean, I enjoyed it. I I attempted to date, which I know I talked about somewhere in season 2 with y'all. But let me tell y'all something. What I shared with y'all about dating during season 2 and what I have noticed this year, I'll say since this summer, it might be that bad out here actually. Like, I was really optimistic, and that wasn't for show. I genuinely felt that way. I had some decent experiences, but what I have experienced recently, I have just seen that the caliber of men I prefer and deserve is just not common. And I could elaborate. I could keep y'all, but I won't even go in depth because I feel like this could go a billion different ways. But like, there are good men out here. I have come across a few. I think just some are not, they don't align with what I prefer. One thing though, I will note, a lot of y'all don't, it's like y'all believe in God and stuff, but y'all don't be wanting to go to church. And again, that's a whole nother conversation for another day, but that's a common one that I run into. So anyway, I've been trying to date. That's an interesting space, that I'm back in. It has been kind of fun. I realize my tolerance for certain things, I mean, it still remains really low. So I don't have time for mess. But that's kind of another thing that's new. I will tell y'all this, coming out of summer and the travels, kind of actually in between a couple of my trips, one of my loved ones, somebody near and dear, we found out has cancer. And so, not to go completely left, because I know y'all are probably like, oh my God, things are fine. But we found that out, and that kind of just changed the dynamic of certain things. And so, we've been trying to show up for this individual more than usual. Emotionally, I've just kind of been a little drained, and not so much from that, but just, it's like a grieving process. Almost the person that they were before treatment is just different, because as some of y'all probably have heard or seen firsthand, anybody that's going through chemo, like, is going to take a toll on them in some way. So, especially depending on like how aggressive the treatment is. So that was something that kind of, just shifted during the summertime, which I have been known in the past to be an avoidant. Like, that was my actual attachment style. It has since changed, but I do realize when I'm faced with certain things, like some people overwork themselves, or some people turn to like alcohol or whatever. For me, I just like go inward, and either I will continue to travel, but with this situation, I did have a few more trips left, but I felt like I wanted to get away, but it was like, you really can't run away. So it just made me go inward, which full circle brings me to point out why it's been so long since y'all heard from me. I had intentions over the summer to give y'all little content of like my trips and my things, not so much in real time, but like recaps as they were happening. And when we got that news, I just kind of was like, I don't even want to do this for real. Like, I actually was not motivated. I didn't feel enthusiastic about it. And when I was preparing for season 1 and even season 2, I gave y'all season 2 so quick because I was so excited, because y'all got season 2 way quicker than I thought y'all would. But I was just excited about everything. But after summer, I was drained. And then that news of the cancer was like, what the heck? Everything was on pause. I probably went, I know I'll be shouting out Tay, and she's sitting in the room with me, but I think we went even some time and just didn't talk. And it was nothing. She was busy, I was busy, but with all the things going on, child, we didn't even think about this podcast. So, that was an interesting way to kind of end the summer. But then now it's like, okay, holiday time, we're between holidays. And I felt like I got to give y'all something. I have to talk to y'all and keep y'all up to date because a lot of y'all were asking me, like, where's season 3? Matter of fact, some of y'all were actually kind of like, I will post stuff that has nothing to do with podcasts, anything. And then y'all will reply like, okay, that's a cute selfie, but where's season 3? Okay, you having fun, you out of town, but where's season 3? Have you been filming? Are you working on season 3? Which honestly shocked me because I didn't think y'all really cared. I know some of y'all do, but I just kind of felt like y'all go get it when y'all get it. And I will tell you this is not the start of that. Like, this is a specialty situation because it's been 1 year since we launched. And I just wanted to give y'all a update into your recap. Like, where am I? I wish I could make this up going. So this is not that. Season 3 will be coming in the new year. So bear with me. But yeah, y'all were checking in and I really do appreciate it. Like, some of y'all I know are just a little nosy and that's okay. But others, making sure I'm good, like holding me accountable, because some of y'all do your own podcast and it's like, yo, what's going on? Like, it's been some time. Are you still preparing or planning to do something different or something more? And so, yeah, I just had to take time. And I know, like, I just took y'all on a little journey. Again, I will show y'all. I probably will put it at the end of this, and then y'all will also see it at some point on the pod Instagram. But y'all will see I did have a lot of fun. I partied hard. I ain't gonna lie, it was fun. I really enjoyed being with my friends. I enjoyed being with my family. The vibes were high, okay? Like, everybody, summertime is just a good, feel-good time, no matter what you have going on. But I genuinely enjoyed myself, and I feel like I owed that to myself, to just let my hair down and just be, And so, wrapping this up, because it's been a while since I've just talked this long. I don't know. Well, I will tell you, I do know where, like, the direction of where I wish I could make this up is headed. But what I don't know, and I'm gonna be so candid with y'all, I don't know how many solo episodes I'm gonna be giving y'all. I'll put it that way. And I know y'all like the solo episodes because y'all have told me. And also, I've just seen the views. Like, I see how that works. So, yeah, I read the analytics. But season 3 is going to be a little different because obviously I have given y'all all my tea. I have given y'all, like, all my business for real. And it's cool. No regrets. But season 3 really is not about me because I've given y'all a lot. I really took y'all on a journey of, like, what I experienced, how I healed from that, what helped me, what didn't help me. I let y'all meet the people who were there for me in my most vulnerable times. So with season 3, I do have things to share that are personal, and then just, my observations and stuff like that on this journey, because the healing journey it's ongoing. I still get triggered. I was just triggered the other day by something, and it's like, girl, I didn't expect that. But still on that healing journey. But now I want y'all to hear from other people. I want y'all to hear from people who have been through similar things or just things that were traumatic, but, like, completely different than what I've gone through. Some people are fully out of their situations and some are still not, at least on paper. But these individuals that you will hear from, I'm excited about it. Most of them, I will be honest, like, I didn't have to look for them. I didn't have to ask. They wanted to sit down and they wanted to talk about their experiences. And I think that's what makes me even more excited, because they want to talk to y'all. They want to share. And this is not just women. Like, this is men and women. These stories I've heard are from people who either had divorces, broken engagements, just regular breakups. Like, yeah, literally, this is why I named it I Wish I Could Make This Up. But it's real life, because I cannot make some of this stuff up. Some of the stories I've heard, like little bits and pieces, I will tell you I've not heard any of them in full. And that's on purpose, because when you see these episodes and you see my reactions, it will be a real-time reaction because I will be hearing it for the first time, just like you will be. So I'm really excited about season 3. I hope that y'all will tune in. I don't know how long we're going to keep giving y'all this stuff, but I can tell you this, it's just getting better and better. And so, yeah, that's all I really got for y'all today. I really do look forward to seeing y'all in the new year, because y'all might see me on Instagram, but this is again 1 year anniversary of launching I Wish I Could Make This Up. So I had to give y'all this specialty episode just to keep y'all up to date and let you know I'm not going anywhere. I am back. I've been here, but I'm back for real. So y'all will see more in 2026. With that said, make sure, as always, 1, if you liked this episode, please like it. Definitely share it with somebody. If you just, I don't know that I gave gems. I gave y'all updates on my life, but if you enjoyed it, share it with somebody. Tell them what this podcast is about, and maybe they can look forward to the next season. If they've never seen it, hopefully they'll watch season 1 and 2 as we prepare for season 3. And then, of course, please subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And with that said, I will see y'all next time. Bye.